What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the lunchroom. It's been a minute. We were trying to get some things together, but we're back, and that's all that matters. We had a bit of an interesting week.
It's been a week.
Right now it's
It's
Friday.
been a week.
As of recording this. We're
Yeah.
not sure when you'll see it, probably within a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some things to talk about,
Yeah.
definitely. So, Owen, why don't you tell us about the jersey? What's up with the jersey today?
You know, this jersey, my uncle gave it to me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Greg Oden, Ohio
Do I
State
know
legend.
Greg Oden?
He was one and done.
One and done.
He was great. His jersey neat. Anyways, this shirt, it's always gave me, or this jersey, it's always gave me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need that today to be able to talk about what I want to talk about and feel how I want to feel.
Okay.
And yeah, that's basically why I'm wearing it.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful collector's item.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. So,
Very rare.
I also noticed, Ron, you seem to have a bit of a interesting shirt on today.
I like your shirt.
Could
It's
you read
nice.
that to
It's
the
nice.
audience?
I think it says along the lines, "Justice for Owen." I don't.
Okay.
It just felt. I just was looking through my wardrobe and
Yeah.
I came across it. Just felt right.
Yeah.
Don't really know what it means.
No rhyme or reason.
So there's no significance. You just kind of put it on. roll with it?
No, it just
Okay.
felt right. It
Yeah.
felt right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that
And is the Owen we're talking about here the guy sitting next to me, or is this? It is.
This is
okay.
This is it's the
Okay.
Owen Schick, Owen Jacob Schick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of Minerva
OJS.
High School, yeah.
Good to
Oh.
know. Good
Yeah.
to know.
But yeah, it's been a minute, guys. I mean, we're sorry we didn't post. What was that, last week?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
We missed
Some
the
shit
week,
came up, but
but
we're back now, and we're gonna try to get more consistent.
and we from here on out we promise that if we have stuff going on, we'll have some backup videos or something just to give you guys something to see and know that we're still here. We didn't just go missing.
Yeah. What are we up to now? 152 followers.
152 followers.
That's
man.
pretty damn good.
beautiful.
That's good,
For
man.
one video, that's pretty good.
Hey.
Yeah. We're looking to
1,000 follower
almost triple
special,
that.
ball or 1,000 follower special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know that.
We have a very special.
Y'all know
guest.
what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's go ahead and dive into this week. We had a bit of an interesting week at school.
Yeah.
Along the lines of a man we might know as Hunter Dean. He came up
Yes.
as a big subject
Yes.
for a better use of words.
Yeah.
What happened exactly with him?
I think he was just going around the community saying some things.
Yeah.
Some questionable things.
Very questionable.
There was a few questionable words.
Words, yes. Particular words.
A particular word.
A word.
And I'm not here for it. I'm just gonna say that live. I'm not here for I'm not here for he's posted
Yep.
on his little spam
I
about
think I saw it about.
about particular people in the community.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's right.
No, if you're a Minerva Lion, I got to stick up for you, and I think he's going after our fellow Minerva Lions.
I would agree with
and
that.
I think that's not cool.
And
I don't really know him. I don't know the guy.
No,
we're
I
talking
don't
about.
know him actually at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd never even talked to him into my entire
I
life.
think what would be awesome is to have. What'd you say his name was again, Skylar?
Hunter Dean.
Oh yeah, have
100.
Hunter Dean
Yeah.
on the podcast, maybe sitting right there, right beside you,
Oh yeah.
giving us his side. Because there's two sides to every story.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to hear what he has to say.
You gotta hear it both ways.
Well, yeah,
sure.
We might be biased.
Well, we could be biased. I heard something happened.
Did I hear something about a Dairy Queen, maybe a Blizzard?
Yeah.
Maybe there was a Blizzard.
Something
involved.
happened to Dairy
Yeah.
Queen, and I just
Okay.
and then something like last Friday,
Oh yeah.
something happened there too.
Okay, yeah.
I
I heard something about that. I could be untrue.
There
I
were some
don't-
tangled webs.
Yeah.
Going on.
There are some tangled
For sure.
webs,
Yeah.
and I think he's a little grumpy about that, so he's lashing out at the Minerva community.
Rightfully so, though. I don't
I mean,
blame him.
no.
I'd be mad too.
I mean,
No, for sure.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that's valid, and that's exactly why I want to have him on.
But
I
then
want him-
again, there's no right to be using those kind of harsh language.
Yes.
That kind of harsh.
No, the
language.
harsh language used is very offensive. It could definitely turn some heads.
Maybe we're being dicks to Hunter Dean. I think we should have him on the pod.
I think we all need to settle our differences like men over a podcast.
Yeah.
I agree.
Everybody, everybody's quick to fight. Everyone's quick to say,
Yeah.
F
Except,
him,
well,
F
I
that.
think everybody's quick to fight except this person.
yeah,
in
I
particular.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
That-
Because
That's-
what I
that's a
recall
true
from the
statement.
Blizzard, there was a lot of maybe speed walking to cars and
Yeah.
like
a lot of I don't see you, but
a
I
lot of
do.
Yeah.
burnouts in the parking lot, getting out of there.
Yeah.
But I don't know any of that
No.
because the real way to get it done is by talking on a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
and I think
Exactly.
that's
Right.
exactly it.
No,
Fighting?
It's
Are we
2025.
serious?
We really gonna fight?
It's a 2025, man.
No.
We're
We'll
sitting
have you on the
down
pod.
a
You can
podcast.
speak your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll talk it through.
You know what happens in the lunchroom
Stays
in
in
the
the
lunchroom.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
You know,
and although our sources might come from outside of the lunchroom,
mhm.
anything we say stays in here. You
Yeah.
know, so I think we have an open spot right here.
Yep.
I'd love to get to know him. I'd love to sit by him. You know, maybe I'll build a connection with him, and I'll feel for what he's doing.
Yeah. You know,
How
maybe
he's
one
feeling.
day we can all sit down and go to dinner.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
all dress up,
Yeah.
real nice.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I
Speaking
think-
of dinners, I heard prom's coming up, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
is everybody real excited about that? Are you
Yeah.
going to prom?
I haven't really decided yet.
Yeah.
You know, there's some things going on that might deter me away from that.
Mhm.
But
I agree.
I feel like anybody who does go, I really do hope they have a good time.
Yeah.
And I know you boys are probably gonna show up and show out.
Oh, I'm showing out and I'm showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm almost excited, not for my prom, but for your prom, Owen.
Oh,
I'm excited
I'm
to see
ecstatic.
what your prom ends up
I'm
like.
ecstatic.
I think a lot of people are gonna learn a lot of things at prom.
You know,
I agree. I would say so.
And I think prom, it can get a little crazy. I think they haven't seen crazy yet
Yeah.
because this could be
Well,
a prom for the record.
it could be, but let's just keep it on the low.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm just looking to have a good time.
Yeah.
Dance with friends. You
Yeah.
know, have a good after prom. It'd
Mhm.
just be a
Right.
great night for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. So what do we think about the after party? Everyone likes to go to prom.
Look.
That's the main goal. But there's always that back door where everyone goes out and goes and does their
I think
separate way.
the after prom the school has is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I understand they gotta do that,
Right.
but it's like, are we
I think
serious?
I-
Like part of being in high school is doing shit you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
That's the whole point.
That's true. That's a good point.
I
Don't
think
you-
the
like,
after
wouldn't you
prom,
agree with
it
that?
offers a safe alternative for everybody. I think that it's important.
Yeah.
You want they're in charge of these kids for the night. They want to make sure everybody is safe, and that's an easy way to keep track of.
That's
them.
true.
Yeah, but when I go to after prom and there's two kids sitting in the corner drinking a fucking juice box,
But
A Capri Sun.
playing goddamn Uno,
but have you?
like I
Yeah.
don't want to go. I'm not a part of that shit.
But we've
Yeah.
never been
That's a
to
good
after prom, so my
That's
thing
what it's
is,
like. You know it's
No,
like that.
because I've seen they get in those those big old balls, and you run right at each other and knock
Nobody
people on
does
the
that
ground.
shit.
That's
No.
fun. I'm for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, that does.
I
sound
think
like
I'd
fun.
rather be playing.
Because
some
I think
other
that
games.
even if you go to after prom at the high school, you can also go to your after prom, your other
Yeah.
at that
or whatever.
isn't it till 1?
I have no idea.
But see now when we talk about after prom, now we're talking like 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too late.
Things
Prom
are
is
getting a
late.
little.
I mean, at that point,
Things are getting a little frisky around this.
they're
time.
not even telling people if they can go in or not.
No.
The door's wide open.
Do you
It's
think
like-
that? Yeah. Okay. So say you're hosting a prom party. Do you make
I
it
would
open invite or do you close it?
Oh, I'm throwing a basher.
Oh, bash.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Kenny would be too fond of that. Kenny
Yeah.
would be. I wouldn't be allowed to have one.
No.
But if I could, it would be.
I'm just saying,
off
say
the
you're
hook.
capable of it. Would you open invite or just close it?
I would start with inviting people,
Yeah.
and then I think after 1:30, open invite.
See.
Okay.
just- I
That's
mean,
where
and then
you're
by if
wrong.
the end of the night, if the house isn't somewhat destroyed, it was a terrible party.
Yeah. Like if a door's not missing, something was wrong.
If there's not 6 holes in the wall, and
We're
a
off
gallon
the-
of
we're off-
beer on the floor, it's not a good
Well,
party.
you see, that's my problem, Owen, is you're not familiar with Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Roger Keffley, he threw the greatest party of all time
Yeah.
with not one lick of alcohol.
That is
in
true.
that
And
place.
I'm
Just
not saying I
straight
drink.
Dr.
I'm just
Peppers.
saying, to the parties I've been to,
Right.
Okay.
there's alcohol there, but I don't do that.
There's usually
Yeah.
and there's usually that weird lesbian couple that comes in and ruins it. I feel like you gotta really be careful about that.
I mean, I don't know where we got the lesbian couple out of this.
There's always that one couple that will just walk in there
Is there
and
what's
ruin everything.
anybody look up the lesbian percentage rate in Minerva?
I think it's high. I think it's high.
No,
I don't know.
no.
I don't know, man.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
a problem? I mean, I think it's awesome.
No, I'm not judging them.
No, I'm not judging them. I'm not gonna say hip hip hooray.
Well, I could say that about any couple, any straight couple,
Oh,
gay couple.
yeah.
I'm not hip hooray for anybody,
Right.
but good for you. If
Yeah.
you're happy, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
we don't have to agree with everything, but we don't have to disagree with everything too.
Yeah, and then again, you're entitled to your own opinion.
Right.
That's exactly what this lunchroom is about.
It's about if you want to have an opinion, you want to say you hate somebody, you want to say you love somebody.
Yeah.
You're entitled to your own opinion.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's what
Well,
makes this country so
Speaking
great.
of opinions in this school week, I heard early in the week some chatter. I'm not going to say names
I
or
did.
nothing.
No,
But there was chatter about our camera quality. And
There
this
was.
has been an ongoing issue.
There was.
I just want to say, man, What do you think it's like? Having only 152 followers.
People
Right.
bitching, but they ain't trying to help out.
No,
Right.
no.
They're
if
just
you're trying,
haters.
if you want better camera quality, drop a follow and a like, maybe
Yeah.
even a subscription on YouTube.
Maybe send us one of those tokens like from TikTok.
Yeah.
because money doesn't just grow on trees.
Send us some roses, man.
Yeah, give us some roses.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have to start going live, we'll do it.
Send a gift card with
And if
$300.
I just want to say, if I
to
hear
the
one
email.
more person say something bad about our camera quality, I'm gonna expose you on this podcast.
Yeah.
And you know who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm
We're
pretty
gonna
sure-
start exposing
My
people.
problem is, I think they just wanted autographs and they were scared, so
Right.
they came up with the hatred to try
Right.
and get our autographs. I don't think it worked.
And it's a good thing that they care.
yeah,
You know,
for sure.
they're noticing that
They do
there
care.
could be
They
better
watched
things.
it.
No, yeah, that's my problem.
Right.
We've had some haters in the past week, but they're watching, and that's all.
That's
I
all
want.
that matters. I don't care if you hate us. If you watch us every week,
Yeah,
hats off to
hate
you.
us or love us, you watched.
Right.
That's all that matters.
And
I believe
and,
the famous bowler said that.
I do think that too.
I don't know his name, but
it's
the edit was
important.
fire.
It's
It
important.
was a fire edit.
Yeah.
It's important that our even our own haters are talking about how we could be better.
Yeah,
Better quality, better video.
So maybe
better
they're not
podcast.
haters. Maybe they love us and they're just trying to make us the best
Yeah.
versions of ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we just see them as haters because they're knocking, us down. But
Mhm.
they're just trying to build us up. you
Yeah.
know? So you got to look at the story two ways.
Mhm. Yeah, there's two sides to a coin.
Yeah. I think
There is.
I mean, there is.
I think that's a big part of today's episode is there's two sides
Yeah,
to everything.
and if your side's a little rougher than the other side, that's okay.
I think that
Just-
that's my thing for you, Owen. Through this week, I've learned a lot about you, but I've learned that you're willing to learn both sides.
Yeah, and
And when you thought you were in the wrong, you understood there maybe it was just a miscalculation.
there's miscalculations. Whether somebody divided wrong
Yeah,
or somebody didn't add,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
but
it happens.
But you can understand that some people
Yeah.
can mess that up.
But the most important thing is don't cheat the coin.
Don't.
Don't cheat on the coin.
No.
Yeah, the coin.
There's two sides to the coin. Don't be trying to
Yeah.
flip it and cheating it.
Like
If you
don't.
flip it and it lands on tails, don't go lying
No.
and cheating the
Yep,
game.
and
No,
then
don't-
and say
don't
it
get
landed on
pissed at
heads.
me because it landed on tails.
Yeah. Don't glue
And
another
you said
coin there.
heads.
Don't glue another coin on and try and
No.
get two tails.
Yeah.
No, cheat it. I mean, you can't cheat the coin.
You're
I'm
only
with you.
supposed to have one coin.
One coin
one
at a
coin.
time is the rule.
Yeah.
I've heard.
If
But-
you're juggling coins, and you drop one, that's your fault.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to take responsibility for that.
And if you're one of the coins that maybe there was another coin involved, you got to be the big enough coin to say that. Listen, I'm not standing for that. I'm getting out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a good.
I'm
enough
not
coin.
going to be in your chain.
I'm a good enough coin
Yeah.
that you don't need to be messing with other coins.
Yeah. I'm a 1934 nickel.
Yeah.
I'm worth more than you.
Yep.
100%.
But yeah, I'm not trying to.
again,
offend
this is all
anybody.
about coins.
Yeah,
coins.
This is coins.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really big into collecting coins. I don't know if you guys knew that about me.
I did not know that.
I love. I just enjoy it, like going through a pile of change, just
Uh-huh.
seeing like I found a penny worth 6 pennies. Like it's pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a rough week. I'm glad it's about over. We got track meet tomorrow.
Yeah, we do have a track meet.
Which
That'll be interesting. We love going to track meets and maybe even meeting fans. Maybe we could sign
actually,
some autographs.
speaking of fans, last track meet I had about 3 or 4 people come up to me.
I'm lined
about
up.
the podcast.
I'm lined
from
up
different
for,
schools.
I'm lined up for the 4x400 relay, and I get a couple of schools from around the area, 20, 25 minutes away. They're like, "Dude, you're famous. We seen you on the lunchroom."
Yeah,
podcast."
you're growing from the lunchroom podcast.
And
I had that happen to me too.
I
It
have
was
to tell
crazy.
them like, "Get away. This is not a good time." Like,
Right.
I feel bad.
No, some girl came up to me in the library, which I'm not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
But she came up to me asking for an autograph and a picture.
Yeah.
I
No,
said,
I think
"Ma'am."
I remember that. I think we had to
Yeah.
take a picture with. It. Yeah.
I said, "Ma'am, we're not doing autographs or pictures until 3 after school."
Yeah, yeah. We could.
Before track.
That brings up a good point. Meet and greet. Maybe next Friday we could do
Okay.
Huh?
at Minerva High School.
Yeah.
2:30.
Yeah, if you guys want to show up, we're doing a meet and greet.
We have a lot of fans, all over. This is not just Minerva. If
No,
you're a
we
fan-
had. I think we had a few callers. We had a few callers from Indiana,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So- okay, so it's callers. Let's. I think this could be our
You guys
first.
want to dive into
Yeah,
something?
I
This could
think
be our
we should dive
first
into some
episode
calls.
of the voice.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, last episode, people were calling us. We set our number in there for callers to leave us voicemails or whatever. But
Let's
we're gonna listen to some here.
let's react to what people are thinking. What are people saying?
Let's take a little dive in here. All right, we're gonna look at let's see what we got here. Let's see. We're gonna do. This is from Plymouth, Indiana. Let's get a good listen here. Sit it down here.
I'm fucking pissed.
Stop it right there.
Okay.
I think he's a
So
little
this
mad.
guy's a little upset.
I think we have almost a clip farmer here.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
he's trying to recreate that meme. He's a little upset.
Let's hear him out.
Yeah, let's
hear him
hear
out.
what else.
Where are you at?
Okay.
I thought I'd leave a voice message because you told me to.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
so he's
getting-
the kind of
Okay,
sports
so
guy.
I
Getting
think it's time
pissed.
to pause. You know, there's only one person that we told to leave a voicemail, and that was Gonzo.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
I think Gonzo's pussing out. This ain't Gonzo.
this isn't Gonzo. I think this is
No.
one of Gonzo's goons
Maybe.
that he put out on
I'd
the
agree.
job.
Okay.
All right, let's listen again.
Furthermore.
Take a listen here.
That you're in North Liberty. All right, shout out Chase Henry.
All right.
See you on the podcast. Put me on TikTok. Woo!
Well, we got a little bit of
Okay,
fan right there.
no, he
Little-
wants some camera time. I'm glad.
Yeah.
We're willing to give.
Well,
him
hey,
some
we're
camera time.
giving you camera time, man. Hey, thanks for
Shout out Gonzo or Gonzo's goon, whoever you are.
That's a little bit of
Good voice.
positivity, man.
Thanks for
That's a good-
supporting
that's a
the
good
pod.
start. It's a good
Okay.
start.
All right, this is
We don't.
I don't know his name, but
It says unknown.
or
so-
sorry, it's a she. I'm pretty sure. I
Okay.
forget. It was something crazy
she?
from Florida.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember the caller from Florida?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a listen to her.
Hey man, I done seen y'all's podcast on TikTok, man, and I just wanted to bring up a topic that y'all ain't really discussed yet.
Okay.
So I recently switched my pronouns from he, him to she, her at my school.
Okay. All right, let's just
Okay,
pause it
let's
right
pause
there.
it right there. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, there's
Did-
nothing wrong with that.
No,
No,
there's
did
nothing
he
wrong
say
with
his
that.
name? I don't think he said his
I
name.
don't think so.
Well, again, this is
Her
okay,
name.
You messed it up.
Let's
already.
say their
sorry.
Let's start over.
Their name. We're gonna say their name.
No, it's she, her.
Well,
her
he did,
name.
I didn't know.
We don't know.
He just said.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so, okay. Let's let it play again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is. Okay.
And I've been getting lots of hate at school, man. Bullying me.
I'm gonna start that
right
off. That's not fucking cool.
Hate is not cool. You know,
Mm-mm.
this is almost a perfect subject because Owen's been dealing with hate at school
Right.
this week.
Yeah.
And you know,
A lot of bullying.
yeah,
Bullying,
it's not
yes.
cool. Like it is not cool.
No,
to just,
bullying ain't cool. So
No.
I'm in your shoes, man. I mean,
give
I'm
him your
sorry.
advice. Give him your advice.
I'm sorry, man, that people are bullying you, and that shit ain't cool, bro. Like
How
that's
would-
messed up.
How are you getting through it, and how would they get through it? Or she, her?
I feel like we almost have to hear their story first,
well,
so we can tell them how to.
yeah,
move
I'm
forward.
gonna give you my advice, man.
Shoving me in lockers and stuff because I'm transgender now. I was just wondering if y'all had any suggestions on how to deal with bullying while trying to still be myself in my she, her pronouns. You know what I mean, man? I appreciate you for all good back to me, man. I appreciate that.
That's what I love.
Okay.
I love how you ended it there. Whatever your name is, she, her. You really like you were talking about being yourself. I think that's the most important part when you're dealing with bullying. Is
Right.
you never try to be something you're not.
Right.
You gotta stay true to what
Right.
you are. And I think that's one thing I respect about you, Owen. Is this week you stay
You
true to what you
can't
are.
give a shit what other people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you spend your whole life giving a shit what other people think, you're living for other people.
100%.
Live for yourself, Florida woman.
Make your own
Yeah.
choice.
I mean, and then again, when they're shoving you in lockers, you just gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah, we're proud. Listen, we're proud of you. The hate you're receiving is unfair.
No,
Yeah.
it's unfair to you, and I think you gotta stand up. You gotta take a stand, man. And we're here for you.
Yeah.
You
we're
want
here
to call
for
us?
you.
You don't gotta call us on the pod, but you want to call us separately? We're here for you, man.
Yeah,
Right.
man. That's not
Right.
cool.
No, it ain't cool. And we're in full support. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
full
gonna
support.
listen to it. We're gonna listen to another one. Here
All right.
goes.
Another call coming in.
Okay. That was from up in Florida,
Okay.
Okay.
which I don't know exactly where that's at, but
It's a little far away.
let's take a listen here. Let's see what we got here.
This is Hunter Dane,
Uh-oh,
and
it's hip-hop.
All right, let's hit pause.
Okay.
All right, Hunter.
We have a code. We have a code, Hardine. Here we got a code.
Guys, I think we need to just take a
I
break.
think this is a great start because if he's calling, we can easily get him on the podcast.
That's true.
Yeah, if you're Hunter, if you're calling, you can be on the podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
man. You could be our guest before the 1,000 followers special.
Yeah.
It could be a great
Because
podcast.
we want to hear your. Let's just hear what he has.
Yeah,
to
let's
say.
hear him out.
We'll hear you.
I was just wondering what I'm supposed to do when my girl is riding with another boy
Okay,
at
that's
school.
what-
Okay, that all right. Well,
That comes back to our coin argument. You know, you can't
Yeah.
cheat the coin.
no.
So you could look at it. Maybe they're just friends, but you have to look deeper into that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever you go by, Hunter or Mr. Dean. You have to look deeper into that. I think you should never settle. Just like this person, you're dealing with stuff. You got to stay true to yourself, and I think you, Mr. Dean, you're true to yourself. You wouldn't deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear what else you have to say.
Furthermore,
I wanted to hear your guys' opinions because think she's cheating on me.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
No,
Mr.
we don't
Dean.
know. Maybe it's
can't
just a
say.
friendly ride.
Yeah.
100%. You should never jump to conclusions, Mr. Dean, unless you have some reasons to
Solid,
jump to
unless
that
you have
conclusion.
some solid videos,
Yeah, or maybe
Or
like
maybe like a voice memo.
or even like a
something.
phone call
Yeah.
then there's no
between the
reason to
two
jump.
partners, then
There's
I
no
don't.
reason to jump to conclusion unless you have one of those three.
Yes.
Or you could have all three.
You
maybe
could have
that's-
all three combos.
That could be.
Hopefully you
conclusive
don't
evidence,
have all
but keep
three
going.
combos.
Listen.
But if you put me on the podcast, that'd be real nice. I'm from Fairless. Number 2 on the
And I believe that's masculine.
Yeah,
the
that's
masculine
masculine area.
Okay.
And I love that you want to be on the podcast. That makes this even better.
Right.
baseball team.
Okay, baseball.
And
Baseball.
she just asked me out to prom, but man, I think she's cheating on me.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
And she asked you out. Is that what we're saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
so Mr. Dean, if she
Well,
asked,
it's 2025. It's acceptable.
exactly,
Yeah,
if she
she
asked
can
you
ask
to the
him.
prom, it's her prom. I'm guessing, Mr. Dean. I don't know who your woman is, but you could, if she wants to take you to her prom, I think that's appropriate. She
Yeah.
should ask.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
100%.
that.
If you're the only guy that she wants to take, then that's fine.
That's
you know?
perfectly
Yeah, but if
acceptable.
you have conclusive, I don't think, Mr. Dean, you should be any worries unless you have conclusive evidence that something is up, and I think that is what's most important.
Right.
Yeah.
Is unless you have conclusive evidence,
Unless you
go
have,
have yourself a nice grand old time at the prom, wherever
Right.
that may be.
Yeah.
Alright, give me a shout out on the
Alright,
podcast.
okay.
Good luck,
Hey,
Hey, we
boss.
appreciate that,
This was a great
Mr. Dean.
call. I think this is
Yeah.
he's taken big steps. 'cause
Yeah, he's
I've
really,
never personally heard anything about Hunter Dean, but to hear this, that makes me proud that he could be
Yeah.
a future podcast. member.
he's really opening up to us. I
Yeah,
think,
for sure.
we're starting to build, a platform, and I think that's all that matters.
And,
We're building
yeah,
a platform.
The
with one of our
lunchroom is an
members.
open discussion. We had a person talk about bullying. We had a person talk about maybe their girlfriend's cheating on them. We're here to offer advice. You know, that is our main concern.
That's
We
what
wanna
we're all-
help them. I
that's what
hope
we're
I
all about.
gave the person from Florida and Mr. Dean some great advice today.
Yeah,
that's my.
let's
goal.
take another listen.
Absolutely. We have another call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm sitting in this goddamn car.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're sitting in a car. He's upset.
Sitting in a car. You do sound upset. However,
He's
this may
upset.
be.
Let's hear what happened.
And this motherfucker sitting right next to me was like absolute shit.
Okay.
Okay, so
Are we saying he looks like shit or he took a shit?
that's where we're gonna need more conclusive evidence. Whoever sent this voicemail, we can't dissect it unless.
So he took a hot steamy dookie.
Yeah.
On the seat.
Well, maybe he means the person, as in there is a pile of shit in his seat.
the
Like,
guy's a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think he's in front.
And
of the
whoever
guy.
this guy is, you shouldn't be calling us. You should be taking that pile of shit to the trash.
Yeah. You got to
Exactly.
take that up with
No.
him.
we can help
why
you with
taking it
certain
up with
stuff,
us?
Yeah.
but that's a man problem. You got to figure that out
Yeah.
yourself.
You know, maybe there's more to it. Let's hear more. Let's hear more.
Fuck! I am pissed.
Okay.
Fuck!
To me, you're being a little naggy Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Calling
this guy
us
might need
about-
to
Yeah.
take
go
some,
ahead.
he might need to take some classes about how to control his anger.
Yeah.
He seems upset.
He's calling us about a hot steamy dookie. And quite frankly, I think you should take care of that yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not calling Theo Vaughn when I got a dog shit in my room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Call the cleaning lady.
yeah.
Call,
Don't call us.
Call a car cleaner.
I mean, we appreciate you calling in, but I mean, quite frankly, what can we do for you?
No, there's
Yeah.
nothing to do.
No. All right,
Okay.
let's.
I think that's all for the week.
Sorry, I had one more.
Okay.
This is okay.
God damn it! Let me talk to little joystick.
He's asking to talk to Little Joystick.
Okay.
Okay. So
Who do we think is Little Joystick? Because I'm not aware.
little
So,
joystick?
Little joystick is a broad name. There could be a lot of people named that.
Is he talking about like the male appendage?
Well, if that's the case, Owen, I don't. If he's calling
Well,
somebody
and
little
who's to-
joystick, is he measuring correctly?
And
I
who's
think
to
yeah.
say it's little? Is it little on his scale? Maybe he's not doing size correctly.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that could be the problem.
I
maybe-
think
I think he's dividing instead of multiplying.
Yeah.
no, he's doing
That's a
he's-
common error.
Yeah.
That happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, do you want to tell him your equation?
it's shaft times
Okay.
diameter
Okay.
times circumference.
Yes.
Okay.
And what people get confused, they do shaft times diameter divided by circumference.
Oh, okay. You see,
and I think that's where we'll call him Little Joystick because
little
he's
joystick,
calling us that.
little joystick.
That's why I think he's getting confused.
Yeah. So
Okay.
on the adjusted scale, little joystick, he's joystick. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
lose
just a
the weight.
regular old joystick.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
most joysticks are the same.
Yeah.
You know, they all same height, same.
You know, if it doesn't matter if it's a little joystick or a big joystick, if it gets the job done,
Yeah.
your joysticks can.
Yeah, but you can still play the video game.
You know,
Yeah.
I heard some people, that play games, they prefer smaller joysticks, better, aim, better range of
Yeah,
motion.
that's
you know?
what I prefer
Quicker.
too.
Yeah.
Quicker too. Big old joystick, it takes you a while to get around.
Yeah.
You got a little joystick.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just uncomfortable
Yeah.
for some people,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, some people don't like that, but
Yeah.
it's all in your preference, really. And I don't. Maybe he didn't make a mistake. I don't know.
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah. I
We'll
think that
we'll,
would.
we'll go ahead and leave that one up to the audience.
Yeah.
You tell us, what makes a joystick a little joystick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was all we had for voicemails, but
Okay.
send us some in, guys. We'd
Yeah,
love to listen
yeah,
to
we'd
them,
love
talk
to
to
see
y'all.
This is a great first segment of voicemails.
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we had a good opening show. First calls,
Yeah,
they
first
gave us
call
some
in.
good stuff.
Yeah. So let's continue that, man.
Yeah.
Got to keep that momentum going.
Mhm.
And don't be afraid to just ask us something you're thinking about. Like, maybe it's something that you can't talk to your friends about.
Mhm.
No,
Or
you
maybe-
can't tell. You don't gotta tell us his name.
Yeah.
I mean, down in Florida, he didn't tell us no.
Yeah,
Or up
no.
in Florida, he didn't tell us no name.
No.
She didn't tell
So
us.
we'll
that.
never know.
Sorry, she.
We'll never know who that was, but we know their story.
And
You know?
hopefully we could help you out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what matters.
So you didn't no more voicemails, but and I think you did get a text on maybe a burner phone number. We didn't really know the number, and maybe it was a little threatening. It's talking about keeping like certain stuff off your bum. What was it? What was the
Bum
line?
ass podcast.
Okay.
Bum
Bum-ass
words that
podcast.
you believe they use.
I think
Okay.
Which
that's not fair.
hate us or love us, you watched.
Exactly.
You watched our podcast.
That is true.
You're giving us clout.
And for you to for them to even say in that I think it was a big old message, a couple paragraphs.
Yeah.
And for a podcast to be mentioned in that, that it stuck with them.
And for you to tell us that we can't say things, pretty soon this is gonna be a goddamn communist country.
It feels
Yeah.
like Nazi Germany. I'm
Yeah.
living in Nazi Germany.
I mean, it
avoid it.
feels like we're in communist Russia
We got to
at
Yeah.
this rate.
At this rate, we might as well just pack our bags and go to North Korea.
Yeah, we might as well.
Because
We might as well have a
they're
talk.
trying. The people are trying to tell us what we can't say.
the light. What'd the light go out for?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Sorry, we're having technical
Oh,
difficulties.
Difficulty.
But yeah, it's just what they're doing. It's communist Russia.
It's
They're
communist
taking away
Russia.
our life.
Okay, we're back on. But they're trying to tell us what we can and can't say, and I think it's ridiculous.
It is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe it's not
If-
ridiculous.
if you
We're
guys can
fine
get-
living in Nazi Germany.
If
because
you guys
they're
can get
taking
us to
America.
1,000 followers, we wouldn't have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, for sure. Wait till they talk about the camera quality after this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People, they're gonna be in mayhem. It's gonna be bad.
It is gonna be bad.
It ain't gonna be good. I'll tell you that.
Okay, that light looks almost better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe that means something. Maybe
Maybe we
Maybe
should
we
keep
should
our
just-
mouths
yeah,
shut.
we should just shut the hell up.
we don't know why the light turned
No,
off, but we
no.
can guess.
You see, every time
Yeah.
we talk about it,
Maybe there's a little bit of an issue going on here.
All
can
right.
we get Keegan? Can we get our technical repairman out here?
Hey, Keegan.
Keegan.
Can you come get-
I think he's asleep out back there.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Keegan's our
He's our tech repairman.
he's our tech guy.
Yep.
If you guys didn't know.
So I think we're good now. A little bit of technical difficulty,
Yeah, we're sorry.
but
We're on a $35 budget.
Yeah.
yeah. So
We spent our allowances on this setup.
right.
Shit.
Shoot. I think we should maybe take some time to talk about what just happened. We're having some difficulties with our lighting, and that's not our fault. We're balling on a budget here.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do anything we can to produce these videos in the best possible quality we can get.
Yeah.
For our people.
For our 152 followers.
And
Yeah.
it's a part of human nature to want to describe everything that's wrong with what our podcast
Yeah, it's
has.
part of human nature to see everything as shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on the brighter side, there's a dark side and a bright side. We're here. We're doing it.
We
We're
are
doing it
putting
with
in the
what we
work.
can.
We're
We're
putting in
making
the
it
work for y'all.
100%. We would not be down here if we didn't love all 152 of our followers.
Right.
We wouldn't.
We love all.
And even the people that are bitching and saying the podcast is shit.
we love you.
We
Yeah,
love you because you're
dude.
supporting us.
You're
Yeah.
still here.
You're watching us.
They're
You're
still
making
here.
us strive for better.
Absolutely.
Oh, did you guys see somebody made an edit of our
An edit of us.
Oh yeah.
the Tiger
The
Woods
Tiger
thing?
Woods
They did
edit.
make
It was a
that.
beautiful edit. Whoever made
And
that
that was not clip farming. I honestly think Tiger Woods is the second greatest human of all time.
So we're
Okay,
standing on that.
Let's get into that because, Owen, I'm not sure you're familiar with Tiger Woods scandals. Maybe some domestic abuse and maybe all that. Is it
Okay.
fair to have a man with that many allegations as the second greatest human of all time?
Then again, they're just allegations. I mean,
It could be false.
allegations are allegations.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, LeBron left Cleveland, and I still love him just as much as anybody else.
That's
Okay,
true.
again, leaving Cleveland and maybe beating your wife are a little different scaled problem.
John Jones did it.
Okay.
People don't say he's not the GOAT.
Well, where's John Jones now? That's the real question.
Yeah, and
Because-
John Jones is
anybody
the
ever
greatest
said
fighter to ever live.
But has anybody
Dana
ever
White.
said John Jones is the greatest human ever?
that's true. That's a good point.
Well,
Ryan.
as far as greatness or as far as being a good human?
Well, when I'm ranking my top humans, I put in multiple factors. One is what you've done, like what your career has been like. LeBron had a great career. And what has LeBron done for the community is another thing I looked into.
Right.
And what kind of overall person is LeBron? I think he is the top human ever made.
He's
Yeah,
reinvested.
but has LeBron ever won a Masters?
Okay.
No, LeBron has never won a Masters. And, that is a fair argument, I think. But has Tiger Woods ever won an NBA Finals against a 73-9 team?
I
Wow.
think he could.
I don't think.
No,
I don't think.
Well, I
that's
think it's
true.
been proven that he can.
Yeah.
So
You've seen the edit.
I have seen the edit. I mean, Tiger Woods is a phenomenal, greatest golfer of all time, and I don't think it's.
arguably.
I'm not taking
That's not even
anything
arguably.
away from him, but a top 10 human of all time, I don't know if that's exactly.
That's a
fair.
stretch.
That's
a stretch.
maybe it was just that edit. I've been seeing edits like
Yeah.
the bad edits, and it's him
Uh-huh.
hitting. It's like dun dun dun, and I'm like, damn man, it just gets me fired
Gets you
up.
going.
It just
I
wants me to.
feel that,
right.
I just want to go, man.
You see certain things that just get your
I
blood
just want to
boiling.
go, man.
Right.
I can only really say the only perfect person ever is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Nobody else is perfect.
Mm.
And even he's claimed that he's not perfect. And,
No.
that just shows his integrity.
Yeah.
You know.
But
So,
yeah, it's a tough conversation,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just thought I'd point it out that somebody made that.
I think
edit.
we
I
should
thought that was
almost-
pretty cool. I mean,
That's cool.
for a first little podcast, I thought that was cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
People are really investing into us,
Mm.
and that means a lot.
Maybe somebody will make like a Nichols edit to us.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
A nickel flipping.
Uh-huh.
That'd be cool.
Or maybe, a Greg Oden edit, because, Greg Oden, I think people forget how deadly he was at Ohio
Best
State.
one and done ever. Greg Oden,
Yeah.
right here,
Was
baby.
Greg Oden one
Flip
and
it.
done? The more I think about
Flip
it,
it.
I'm not sure.
Flip it right there.
Flip farm that. Beauty. He
Was
was
Greg
good.
Oden one and done?
Yeah.
You're positive.
Pretty positive, yes.
Okay.
He was a dog. I mean, I don't know if he could read or write,
You ever seen that one video where that grandma,
but he was good at basketball.
It
where that
didn't matter.
grandma goes up to him and she's like, I could beat you, and just how sad Greg looked.
Oh,
It almost breaks my
poor
heart.
Gregory.
People just don't put the respect on
No,
his name.
people
that he
hate on him.
deserves.
Oh, Gregory's a bust. That dude's a man. He's a
He's
person,
got
guys.
feelings. I mean, that man's name is Greg Oden.
Yeah. He's a fucking person. And I hate when these people they hate on players. They're people too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Even in our high school games, people hate on us.
Yeah.
We're not perfect.
No, everybody makes mistakes.
17 years old.
Exactly. If you're yelling at me from the stands, you're in the stands,
Yeah.
Buster. I'm
Yeah.
out here trying to do
Come
my
on.
best.
Hit your little wave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I do.
It's bull.
I might not be great. We might suck.
No,
but,
it might suck, but you're in the stands.
but I'm still trying my best. I'm out here doing what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's how I feel.
And it's just not right. When you have a hater, you just gotta put them in the past, because they're hating just because they're jealous of you.
Yeah.
Every hater is jealous. of
Every hater is jealous of what you have or
Mhm.
have done to him
you. Yeah, for sure.
or her. That's how it works.
That's why I think if we get a couple of angry callers on the podcast after this episode, I think you're just jealous of some
No,
people up
fuck
here.
'em.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
with you.
well, no.
Well, we'll listen to you.
We'll listen to you. We might not agree,
Yeah.
but we still want them here. They're always welcome here.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're
Well, we
welcome.
know they're gonna watch because they're hate.
Yeah, they have to watch to find something to hate about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm trying to think. Who do I hate?
So,
I used to really dislike Sketch. You know?
Sketch.
ooh,
Really.
that's a good. Let's talk about that.
I used to really dislike him
Why?
So for
because
people,
I just thought it was just annoying. People going around "What's up?"
I did not.
Right.
That was
and
a
I would
bad
just be
phase.
like, "Shut the
"What's
hell
up, brother?"
bro."
Was a terrible phase.
So
Yeah.
for the people who might not know,
Yeah.
Sketch was a famous Twitch.
Well, he
streamer.
still
He is
is.
famous.
Still is, yeah.
Yeah, there was
Um,
some shit that happened.
And he got famous prior to his incident coming out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
everyone really liked him. he was, the guy saying "What's up, brother?" all the time on all the TikToks,
He loved Madden.
and he loved Madden.
Yeah.
He's a real big football guy. Probably top 5. He could probably beat you, and there's nothing you could do about it. But about what was it, a year or so into his career, some videos came out, and he was he was trying things. He was doing things.
I
maybe
believe he
regretted.
needed money.
Yeah.
He did. He was at rock bottom, as most people would say.
And there's nothing wrong with being at rock bottom.
No.
No,
Happens
And-
to
Because
everybody.
the only way to go is up.
right.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
But
right.
I think what we need to take away from it is that he was at the top. He went from rock bottom to the top. He got real famous on TikTok and Twitch.
Yeah.
And then those allegations come out, and man, he really went down. He went to a dark place.
Mhm.
But what he did was he trusted the people around him, and he picked himself back up, and he kept streaming and posting and stayed consistent, and now he's doing just fine. He got past that hard part of life, man.
I respect Sketch.
Like that-
a
I don't
lot.
hate him for it.
Seeing
No.
Sketch after that incident, how just terrible he fell, and it was beautiful. He thought about going in a dark place, and he really used his friends. It was a great.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah,
It is a beautiful story.
But it doesn't
But
take-
I do have a question. I just want to know, the man who found the leaks. What were you doing to find?
Yeah,
this
buddy.
Sketch
I
leak?
mean, you're
know-
showing everybody the leaks, but
what you
then
gotta look
again, you're
yourself.
watching some
The place,
Pay Gorn.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was some pay Gorn involved in the finding of the evidence,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
people, experiencing that website are only there for one reason. So
Yeah, I mean,
whatever was-
imagine just being on a goon session. You think you found Sketch. That's
Yeah.
like you stopped whatever you were doing and just get on the internet
you
and
said,
leak
"Let
this
me
stuff."
watch this."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ricky, whatever the hell your name was,
Whatever dirtbag did that, not cool.
yeah,
Because you might be the problem.
I think
you're a homosexual.
what's more important.
Ricky's a homosexual, I think.
What's more important.
And Ricky, a homosexual, tried to hate on another man for being a homosexual, which is not cool at all.
No, and back
Wow,
to down in
being a
Florida,
homosexual.
up in Florida, her stories.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna bully people.
Hypocrites.
We're gonna bully people for expressing themselves the way they want to express
No,
themselves.
Yeah.
if Ricky's in the closet,
That's
tell him to come out.
Ricky is
ridiculous.
trying to derail Sketch's career by saying he expressed himself in a certain way, when Ricky is expressing himself the same way.
Absolutely.
But in
Completely
private, so
wrong.
it makes it okay.
So
It's ridiculous.
the
wrong.
the underlying question to all of this is, was he
Excuse
done
me.
yet?
Was it what?
When he was watching that video, did he immediately stop and expose Sketch, or did he?
I think he
watch it?
finished. He finished the video.
He
I
watched
think
the
there's
whole
an
thing.
issue.
He
with that.
watched the whole video.
I think there's an issue.
Just-
with
He,
that.
not only did he just find that, he found multiple, which makes me really wonder.
He said, "Oh
Yeah,
my
he
god,
might have been
he liked. I
Sketch's
think he
biggest
liked
That
it."
means he went to like related videos
Yeah.
and furthered his research.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't know how you would find out about that.
that's ridicule.
It was- it's
there
crazy.
there is a fine line between doing your business and that, and I think he might have crossed that line.
Yeah, he
It's
might have
some
crossed the
pay going.
line.
Some pay going.
Not that nothing's wrong with what
Nothing
he
wrong
did,
with
but to an extent, when he started leaking stuff, that is not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool.
And it's really none of his business anyway.
No,
what
it's not.
he's doing.
What Sketch does with his life is not Ricky's business.
Right.
Exactly, and that brings us back to just mind your own business.
Right.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
it doesn't have anything to do
to
with
an
you,
extent,
don't
but
talk
if you
about
see something wrong, I think it's important to stick up.
Well, yeah, if
Yeah.
you see some
Like I think Owen, you've seen some.
questionable behavior going on,
Yeah.
I think you can talk about it. I don't. It's a free
It's,
country,
and it's our
Is
job.
it?
It's our job to keep.
it.
Don't
Is it
shut the
free
light off.
country?
but it's a free country.
It is a free country, but lately, Owen, I feel like we're living in Nazi Germany.
I
Yeah.
feel it's communist Russia. Honestly, if I'm gonna be real, I think it's communist Russia.
There are some communist things going on lately. Now we're being told that in our own schools we can't talk about certain things. What happened to freedom of speech?
I don't know.
You
I
know?
seems
What
like it's
what
gone
happened to
nowadays.
expressing our opinion.
Seems like it's gone nowadays.
Okay, yeah, and I think that it's just if you see something wrong, you
gotta
have to
acknowledge it.
you have to speak up.
Yeah,
Because if you're not going to speak up, we're going to live in a world full of wrongdoings
Yep.
and lies.
and two wrongs don't make a right.
Exactly.
Two
So,
wrongs
you
don't
know,
make a right.
No matter what, I'm with you guys because I know you're trying to express the rights and
Yeah.
find the rights in the world.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great thing to
And
say.
that's what I want to invite on our Lunchroom podcast. If you
Absolutely.
see something wrong, express yourself.
Tell us.
Tell
Call
them.
in.
That is not
call
cool.
them out.
I
man.
love when I remember when I said if you're pissed off, call in.
Yeah.
A lot of people called in.
And we had a guy who was really pissed
He's
off.
We had a few guys that were
Yes,
pissed off,
right.
and I'm sorry if you didn't get on. I had a lot of other voicemails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a few guys that were pissed off, and I'm glad to hear it.
Right.
But if you have problems, if you see something going on, if you want to tell us a crazy story, tell us, man.
I
Yeah.
think the people that are really pissed at us are just going and running their mouths more instead of sitting down and have a conversation with us.
Yeah.
We'll FaceTime you in the lunchroom.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll invite
Put
you
you right
personally
here.
down here.
Put you right here, man.
No,
I mean,
we could even set him up right here like he's sitting with us.
Yeah. yeah, or you can come on.
For
You can
sure.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
But I know your shirt says free on.
That says
Or
justice.
Justice
for
for
all. Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you can't read,
all.
right here.
I believe we have to include justice for Nate as well.
You know,
Absolutely.
it seems wrong that no matter what is going on, if there's a problem or a little, so you say scandal,
Right.
that these higher authority people bring in
Yeah.
Nate Linkus, who I don't know, man. It seems wrong that Nate Linkus is brought in when he is one of the only
May I say African American people in our school?
in our school,
Absolutely.
yeah. And you know, I think it's not just in school; it's in everything.
Yep.
He gets brought in, and you know, he is not involved most of the time.
No.
You know, there's maybe one or two occasions he's been involved.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He doesn't really do
But
anything.
no
wrong.
man is perfect, as you said before. You know, when you're ranking greatest humans, no man is perfect.
No, nobody's Jesus.
Nate Linkus isn't perfect. You're not perfect. But for Nate Linkus to be brought into a situation that involves you, I think that's unfair. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it says justice for Owen, but it should have / Nate Linkus / Green.
Absolutely.
Nate Linkus.
Yeah.
Nate Green doesn't come out till midnight.
Okay. No.
But yeah, I just want to say we're not trying to offend anybody again.
No, 100%. This
And
is
I
just,
feel like people are taking offense to this.
I
and
think
I
every-
just think we're talking about real life subjects and about how we feel, and I think we should be allowed to talk about how we feel in
Absolutely.
America.
everything we've talked
You
about.
know?
Is,
Yeah.
It's all really hypotheticals too. You know, we don't know. You
No.
know anything.
None of this actually happened.
No, this is just all. This is just like,
Right.
Yeah.
what if it happened?
Yeah.
What if like you got in trouble and they brought in Nate Linkus, and even though he didn't really have nothing to do with it, what if that happened? You know,
That would be
I
terrible.
would wear a Justice for Nate
Yeah.
Linkus shirt or a Justice for Owen shirt, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like a joke.
Absolutely.
It's a hypothetical.
And you know, almost relating to that situation with our callers, hating on us and calling in, telling us what we're doing wrong or the situations they got. We should almost have justice for the podcast too.
yeah,
Sure.
justice for lunch.
Justice for lunch.
Justice for
You know,
lunch,
we could
yeah.
that could be a merch on. That could be one of
Yeah,
our
if-
merch.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
start making
drop that.
T-shirts at 1,000.
Maybe we'll drop some merch at 1,000.
Yeah.
First
I agree.
25 people get an exclusive T-shirt or hoodie or something.
for sure.
We could probably make that work.
Man, I don't. We've been talking about a lot of stuff this week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we should take a moment to just breathe and relax. Let's step away from all the negativity in our life. Let's open the branches and then some positivity. What good things have happened this week? Let's
Well,
almost
let's
take a
start.
step
I'll
back.
start off. You know, we got a big congratulations to one of our podcast members, Owen, who was
Absolutely.
the Stark County Athlete of the Week. I think I
Yep.
deserve a little round of
That
applause.
is a round of applause.
Appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
If you don't pay attention, if you don't know ball, know ball, because this man is lightning fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he can jump. And, we're
Yeah.
just going to keep it at that. He scored 38 points for the track team this week. I mean, that is, I think, 12 more than Nate Linkus.
Absolutely.
Just to put that
Yeah,
out
just
there.
put it in perspective.
12
But-
more than Nate Linkus. And, I mean, it was just a beautiful performance. I was there for most of it.
Absolutely.
It was a nice meet. You know, a nice little warm up.
You know, so even with all the negativity in your life, Owen, I think that shines through. That you were this Stark County Athlete of the Week, a very powerful county.
I still find ways to
Express
compete.
yourself, you know?
Even with all this harshness
Right.
in the world, I still find ways to compete.
It's true dedication.
Yeah, it's dedication to my craft.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think the night before you were in bed by 8:30, you read your motivational book. I think all that.
Not exactly.
Well,
It was a bit of a rough night. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna sit here and hold you guys. It was a
Maybe-
bit of a long night.
Maybe that was
everybody
motivation.
prepares differently. I think.
Maybe that was
I was up
motivation.
till 1 a.m. plotting,
Plotting.
scheming.
scheming things
Uh,
out about the podcast, right?
And the track meet, podcast,
yeah,
and track.
stuff like material for the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
As well as the track meet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But I had a lot of haters out there, and I had to prove them wrong.
Okay.
And I think I did that.
That's
It was almost fitting that it was at Fairless High School. I don't know exactly why, but it feels fitting that it was.
It's
there.
a nice venue.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's a nice venue. But-
It was great. It was great for you.
I
I just
don't
want to say how proud of you are.
Well,
I appreciate that. man.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
I'm happy that you can, come on the podcast, be great at doing podcasts, and step out into the athletic world and do great there too.
Yeah.
That's,
You're living a
that's
double
awesome.
life. That's pretty awesome.
Appreciate it.
so
The only thing I've been struggling with, man, is just
Go ahead.
it's my women.
You're
Women.
women.
Okay.
Okay, this brings us to a good point. Oh, and what's going on? You know, what when you looking for a woman? What are you looking for?
I don't know anymore, man. In 2025,
It's
can
hard.
you really find a woman?
It's
You
hard.
can. That's the thing I'm gonna tell you. You can.
Well, see, I feel like what happens most time is you think you found the one.
Yeah, and then she gets sharked.
Yeah. Or it's not even a girl. It's a boy. And it happens.
It happens. It happens.
You know, they turn around. And
I,
whoa.
I don't think that's nothing to be embarrassed.
You're
about.
like, damn, nice ass. You're
You
like,
can't.
well, sorry, sir. Yeah.
You
Sorry,
shake,
sir.
You shake their hand and you keep moving forward.
Sometimes you can't tell nowadays.
Yeah.
but-
No.
And, you know, it comes down to the voice. You know, sometimes they look like they have a soft voice and you ask them how they're doing and, you know, they hit you with the, oh, I'm doing good. You gotta just,
That's a good
you gotta
day.
just turn away. And, you know,
How
walk
are
the
you,
other
sir?
way.
Yeah,
But a lot of times, us guys, we like to turn a blind shoulder and just think, well, this can't happen to me.
Absolutely.
and that
Yeah.
happens.
It happens. Your
I-
girl gets sharked.
She does.
It's happened. It
Oh,
actually.
I thought we were talking about the male, but okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sure.
A little off topic.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But,
my bad.
you know,
my bad.
Okay, Ellen. So you're just concerned. You think you'll never find a good woman. Why is that? Why?
I don't think I can't find a good woman. I just don't feel.
the desire to.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard out here, and you get attached, and then you get attached for about 2 months, 2-3 months. You get a video of another dude with your girl.
Her getting sharp.
Well, you see, that's the thing. Like, if you can find yourself a person, like, not just saying women or man, whatever, a person, you find yourself this person, it's really about working together. You got to have that trust that your person is not going to betray you. And, I think that's hard
Well,
to find
yeah,
nowadays, but I don't think it's impossible. I think there's people out
I
there.
Absolutely.
don't see. I'll put my ankle in, but then when I get to about knee height, I back out
Yeah.
because I'm afraid a shark's gonna rip my leg off.
Yep.
You see, that's the thing. If you're afraid because of past shark attacks, of something happened with your current person, that's not fair. You got to. I think you still have to put that trust in.
Well,
that
some
person.
people they're getting bitten and they're still swimming.
Yeah, okay.
They're getting
They're just letting
tore
it
We're
up.
talking about
and
shark
there's-
attacks. If you get bit by a shark and you don't leave the water, that's on you.
That is his fault.
If you keep
know.
swimming with one leg,
Yeah.
leg,
And the shark is still smelling blood.
he's gnawing on your leg, and you're just letting it happen.
That's not. That's
And the hardest, the worst part about it is they don't even believe they're getting their leg bit on.
no.
They just
no.
think nothing's
They
going
think they're
on.
going for a nice swim.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Wow.
adrenaline. They don't feel it.
You know, he's looking at it and he's just like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't believe it's happening, so it's not happening.
So
Exactly.
okay, this is off topic, but it has to do with sharks.
Okay, sharks.
Okay.
Would you rather fight a shark in the water? Okay, you got a shark, great white,
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
or a
okay.
rabid dog on land.
Oh.
A rapid.
Well, hold on. Let me put that. A polar bear.
Okay.
Okay, that is
That's a
completely
drastic-
different.
I know. I was like switching. my
Shark
mind
in
here.
water.
Okay, like a little shark in the water,
Okay.
not like a 7-footer, black tip,
Okay.
but he wants to eat you.
Okay, go ahead.
Or like a grizzly bear.
Grizzly bear. Okay.
Okay, they both want to kill you.
Because either way, you have a shot, but it's not good.
Does
they're
the grizzly
both
bear want to
feral.
kill you?
Yeah, he wants to fuck.
Okay, I'd rather fight the shark then.
Absolutely.
But you have such disadvantage.
But I think that
Am I
sharks are-
on am I in deep water or am I in
You're on a surfboard,
Okay, am I near the shore or am I in deep water?
200 meters out.
I
Oh,
think
jeez,
I
It's gonna
think-
be a swim.
Out.
It's gonna be a swim.
I think even if you're maybe close to the shark, I think you have a better chance at protecting yourself from a shark than a grizzly bear. Because a grizzly bear on land is, first of all, so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
They're massive.
200
Their
meters
paws
out,
are this
okay.
big.
Right.
If we're 200 meters out, if you can fight him off for a little bit, he's gonna get you again because the shark is continually trying to kill you. He's not getting tired, right?
Well,
It's a fucking
yeah.
shark. He's hungry. I mean, he's been swimming all day.
Well, that's a
He's
that's a misconception. Not all sharks sharks don't try and kill you.
No, but this shark there's something wrong with him.
It's fair.
Yeah, exactly my point.
This
If I'm
shark is a
200
serial
meters
killer.
out and I'm getting attacked and I just make a little bit of ground, I'm still gonna get attacked for 200 meters. So if I'm fighting a bear, do I have resources? Do I have any weapons?
Yeah.
or-
Do we have like a big pot?
No.
Like, are we shielding up?
No.
As
Is
a
there any
give
place for me to go that I can get help?
No.
Where's the nearest police station?
No. I'll give you one human you can tag in to help you.
Okay.
Oh, then I'm taking the grizzly bear.
Are you taking Michael Phelps? Or you taking John Jones?
John Jones.
Well,
If I'm fighting a grizzly bear,
Yeah.
100% John Jones. Why would I
Well,
take
I'm
Michael Phelps?
talking about
Oh,
like,
in
are
the
you
shark?
taking Michael
What's
Phelps?
Michael Phelps gonna do? He can't outswim the shark.
They get distracted.
Oh, that is true. That actually is
That
very
is a
true. Now
distraction.
that I think about it, I might take Michael Phelps and the shark.
And I think Michael Phelps like, I could outswim this son of a bitch.
Right.
See,
He
that's the
couldn't,
thing.
but-
Michael Phelps. I don't think you're familiar with his game.
You know what? Michael Phelps might be a top 10.
I'm not kidding. Michael Phelps.
He's
is
the
probably-
greatest
He
Olympian
has
of all
some
time.
stupid like 300 gold medals.
Yeah.
and something stupid.
He's got a couple hundred.
I mean, I remember back in 2016, I didn't know nothing about any sports, but I mean, I knew that Michael Phelps was a dog.
Except about LeBron.
Oh yeah, I knew.
Yeah, I knew Michael Phelps was that. Like when you see
I'm talking. I
him,
didn't know nothing about Olympic sports.
he was that fucking guy.
He was that guy.
It was him.
Yeah, that's what they call him.
Right.
But yeah, I think you got to take the shark, honestly.
I don't know.
Because the grizzly bear, you can't climb, you can't outrun it, and you cannot fight it.
Well,
A shark, you might be able to grab him.
Okay.
A 6 or 7 footer,
Would you?
they're probably what, 80 pounds, 100 pounds. You might be able to grab his tail.
Mhm.
You
But,
know,
you
poke
know.
his eyes. A bear, dude, you're done.
Okay.
You're done.
Here's the big question. You're gonna fight. You got to fight a polar bear to the death, or 25 little people to the death. You got to kill all 25.
Now we're talking little people,
Yeah, little people.
and that's the correct terminology.
That is the correct
As we
terminology.
established
I
last
think we
episode.
established that a few episodes ago.
Okay.
Little people.
Yeah.
25 little people or one full-grown male grizzly bear or polar bear.
They're trying to kill me.
Yeah, the polar bear's trying to kill you, and the little people.
The
are trying
polar
to kill
bear's quicker death. The little people are gonna rip you limb by limb.
you. I think you could take down.
You're gonna get 3 or 4 on each arm and
Okay,
just
sure.
pull you like
To
those
fight the
medieval
polar
things.
bear, you get nothing. To fight the little kids, you get a buttermilk.
They're not.
a buttermilk.
Not little kids, the
They're
little people.
little people.
Sorry, little people. I got distracted.
Yeah.
To fight little people, you get a butter knife.
Okay. We have a butter knife.
Mm-hmm.
What do you get with the grizzly bear?
Nothing. That's a polar bear.
A butter knife?
Or, yeah.
A butter knife.
They're taking the butter knife and they're ripping you limb from limb.
Yeah.
Like, then what is that
We're
gonna
gonna
do?
use the butter knife to cut
So
you up.
you'd rather fight the polar bear.
Yeah, I think you have to fight the polar bear.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
Polar bears actually hunt humans.
Oh, polar bears are like the most deadly animal.
Yeah, they are
They're
killers.
big as shit.
Besides the hippopotamus.
Yeah, hippopotamus.
Would you rather fight a hippopotamus to the death or a polar
Oh
bear?
man,
to death?
one hit from a hippo and you're done, dude.
Hippos are
Their
fast.
jaws are like. they'll-
Yeah, go ahead.
Their jaw, like if you even got inside of its mouth, you're done.
You ever
you're
seen them
snapping.
throw those like watermelons
Well,
in
no,
there?
they-
And just go like,
I've seen one bite a gator in half. Or a crocodile, sorry. In Africa.
oh really?
But-
Africa is a wild place, man.
Oh,
you think
yeah.
anybody
You grew up in Africa, dude? Hats off to you.
for
If
real.
we have any Africans watching,
like,
hats off to y'all.
I
man.
want to know where you're watching from, kind of, because this is a common.
There's a common misconception they live in huts.
Yes,
That's not
100%.
true. That's not true.
I've
There's
never.
towns and
That
shit.
is not. That you're right.
That's he say, she say. You know.
Yeah, people say, like in America, people
Right.
say you guys live in huts and shit like that.
You're right.
And it's racist.
Like mud.
It is
mud
because
houses and
people
stuff.
think they live in like these shacks and stuff, but like I have never seen like a. I guess everything I've been taught my whole life has taught me that.
well, it's
True.
I think it's the racism that we're grown up on in America.
Yeah, for sure.
the
Yeah.
underlined racism.
Like we're taught that like in Germany, like people eat fucking pretzels and shit. You know what I mean? Like they eat pretzels, or no, is that Germany? They eat pretzels.
I was never taught that.
They
Yeah, I
eat
don't know.
pretzels and drink beer like out of a mug.
Okay. I
Okay,
forget
yeah.
And there's those bars and shit. And
Yeah.
They wear like pantaloons.
and the mug's like clear, like a glass.
Oh, yeah.
mug. Yeah.
He's like, throw me another one, Benjamin.
And there's
Yeah.
always like a little bit of foam coming out of the top of the
Yeah.
mug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're taught that. Or in French, like they just eat croissants all day. Like that's simply untrue.
It's almost like
Okay, yeah, you're right. What do you think
It's-
they say about America? What do you think other countries say? What do you think? They
We eat burgers all day and we're diabetic.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
that is
we eat a
that
lot of
is-
burgers. I think like a conception about us is like we eat like cheeseburgers a
And I'll
lot.
be honest with you, I don't even fucking like hamburgers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like
I
hamburgers
eat
at all.
one thing. I have chicken tenders and French fries. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna be honest.
You know,
I
I'm
can't
with you on
stand-
that one, Ron.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll go for a little bit of like Mexican food, maybe a K pasta.
I love K-pasta, man.
You know,
See, okay, is it crazy that when I go to a Mexican place, I look for the chicken nuggets right away?
Ron, I
That's
hate to be
sad.
that guy,
It's
but
sad. It's not crazy. It's sad.
Okay.
but in a way, I get Rowan though. You know, Rowan is the type of guy that
He likes something. He's gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
I understand that.
If
There's
it's
nothing-
not broke, why fix it?
yeah.
That's my.
I
thing.
get that, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
But I think at some point in your life, you almost have to you have to take a chance.
I think so too. I've
Yeah.
been, I've been.
Yeah,
I've
try
met
a
new
burrito.
people. They've encouraged me to, get on the move and try some new foods. I think that it's time. I'm almost 18 years old.
Right.
I can no longer go to fancy restaurants and be like, "Do you have the kids' chicken tenders and
Time
fries?"
to get your shit.
Absolutely.
And then when they're like, do you want sauce? I'm a weirdo. I'm like, no, I hate sauce. I don't want any sauce. And they look at me extra weird. I can't be a 35-year-old man taking my wife and kids to dinner and be like, oh, yeah, I'll take the kids' meal.
Rowan, it's time to get your shit together.
It is time. I think this is a big problem.
No more Happy Meals for Rowan.
I didn't want to like talk about this today, but I feel like I'm getting to know all 152 of my followers so well that you should know a dark secret. about me.
Hopefully,
Okay.
It's that I do not eat anything besides chicken and
Yep.
fries.
what's our goal? I mean, like after this podcast, I'm thinking what, a couple hundred, 300 maybe.
Yeah, I do think so. I think that
Does it work
followers?
exponentially or is
Are we
it one
talking
big
followers
chunk?
here?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that if we need one clip of ours to like take off.
Yeah.
I think that is the gateway to becoming a successful podcast. channel.
Like if the people are listening, and we clip this right here, just everyone like it. Everyone like
Everybody
it.
like
Everyone
this video.
comment
It's
it,
so
share it.
stupid.
Yeah, and see, we'll do. You guys give us a top comment. We'll do whatever the hell you say.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. You see that stuff? We will do whatever the top comment says on this video.
Yeah.
Whatever the top
Alright,
comment
They will
says.
do whatever
Let's
the top
start
comment
something new
says.
here. People start commenting on the TikToks. Whoever gets the top comment, most like comment, will pin it. We'll feature it in the next episode and talk about whatever it is or do whatever they wanted us to do.
Yeah.
Yep. So
And-
comment, please.
Comment.
Yeah.
So either
This is
call
going to be
in,
the most liked video of the Lunchroom podcast, right?
absolutely,
Should be. Should be.
call
Okay.
in, comment, or do both. You can do both.
Yeah.
Give yourself a better chance at getting on here.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do some type of reward for top comment. Whoever gets top comment, we'll figure something
We're
out.
gonna
for
give you a
them.
shout out. We're gonna do what you said.
So take it into consideration and try to figure it out. Let's see what happens.
And whether that's my girlfriend's cheating on me or that's I want to see Owen and Skylar box.
yeah,
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude,
Okay.
we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And
We'll see.
maybe like we'll do like a review on something. Maybe we'll do like a food review or something.
It could.
That's the best
This
thing
all
about
sounds great until the top comment is delete the podcast. That could not be good.
Well, we didn't see it. We'll delete it before then.
yeah, if you say that, that won't fly.
Mysteriously, the top comment got deleted whenever we went to post a video. So
Yeah,
that's
for
kinda
sure.
weird.
But speaking of, we were talking about animals. Did you guys see that? I know I'm a nerd. Okay.
Okay.
And I know
Don't even talk to me about the dire wolf.
and I know a lot of
jeez.
bullshit that like nobody cares about. But
Yeah.
did you guys see they brought a wolf back from 13,000 years ago?
Wow.
Why? Like, why? Why are we doing this? I looked it up. I didn't believe Owen. I looked it up. I figured out we're doing this.
Well, why would you even look it up? You know I wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah.
So, there's a person in Owen's life that says that he could be living in Jurassic Park
Jurassic
by the
Park.
time before he passes away.
Yeah.
That would be my father, Kenny.
Kenny.
as we call him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do
he's
you think that's possible that we could be living with dinosaurs by the time we're dead?
I don't know. Well, let's touch on the direwolf before we get into that.
Okay.
Did they bring it back as in they remanifested this animal, or did they just discover that it's
I
still
don't-
roaming the earth?
manifested. Define.
Did they create this animal's DNA and make it born?
I think they had dire wolf DNA,
Okay.
and then they're like, okay, we're gonna mix a little bit dog, and I'm pretty sure they put it in a husky or something,
Okay.
and then that was like the mother, like the surrogate mother.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, that's what happened. So
So-
it's pretty much it's an extinct animal.
So the animal, the direwolf, is living as of now. Like you could go find one.
There's two of them. They're brothers,
Okay.
or three, or something like that.
So how's it gonna repopulate?
I'm not really sure what their whole goal is. I think they just say global warming,
Okay.
but I really just think they want to do Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
I
I'm
think
cool
so
with.
too. When people say they're like doing all this stuff for good causes, I think somebody just had an idea. They watched Jurassic Park, they loved it as a kid, and they're like, let me make Jurassic Park real by the time I die.
Yeah.
And I
Let's
think
do it.
that's exactly what they're starting with this dire wolf. Because next thing you know, I'm gonna go out the window and a T-Rex is just gonna swoop down and I'm gonna have to dodge it. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not bulletproof.
No.
People act like
No,
it's
that's
actually
what
gonna
I'm saying.
happen.
People,
There's so many avoidables in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Like
Yeah.
in the movie, I'm not a super fan of Jurassic Park, but I have watched one movie of it,
Mhm.
and
The first one?
it was the first one,
Okay.
and they were kind of like using like military weapons against these dinosaurs, and the bullets were kind of like reflecting off them, like it wasn't really doing any damage to them.
no,
I don't think that's very realistic.
You shoot a T-Rex in the face.
It's gone.
It's gonna lean away.
Well, that's what I'm
If you
saying.
shoot a T-Rex with a 50 cal, it is dead. I don't care what you say, dude.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
like you shoot a whale with a harpoon. How do you think they take down blue whales? I mean, you shoot them with harpoons, they die.
Yeah.
They're not indestructible.
I
Is-
agree with you.
Is a whale a dinosaur? Or
That's
No,
no.
whale is a mammal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
They
everything
have
Is the
evolved
dinosaur
so
not
much.
classified as a mammal?
No, a dinosaur's a reptile.
Whales used to
Only
live on
reptiles?
land. Isn't
Huh?
that true?
Dinosaurs are only reptiles?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
What are you saying? Yes. Or
But-
didn't whales used to live on land?
Yeah,
Did they?
according to evolution. If you
Yeah,
believe, if
exactly.
you guys believe.
Can
in
you
that.
believe
Like
any of that?
how we used to, we used to walk on four hands and now
You know
we
what
walk
I've seen? I've seen a video of the asteroid the other day
the asteroid.
that killed the dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know who in the hell got
Yeah,
that video.
Let's dive
Well,
into
okay,
that.
if you got a video of the asteroid, I think that before, you look at all the, like, what's that called? Mayan ruins and stuff. There's no way they built that with their bare hands. I think they had
Yeah.
advanced
You
technology.
talking about the pyramids?
Yeah, and they got completely wiped out.
Yeah.
They just got wiped out, and then they lost all their technology. I think we're probably behind what they were at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably doing podcasts way before that.
So
Yeah.
so
we're not first to this. There was a few
No.
Egyptian kids about 7,000 years ago sitting down. They're like, "Okay, welcome back to the pyramid.
But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a kick-ass name too.
Yeah.
The pyramid.
Welcome back to the tomb."
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about, the pyramids? I heard that there's a theory going around that the pyramids were actually built in the ground and they dug out everything around the pyramids
Ooh.
that shaped that's why they stick up now. Instead of stacking stuff, they dug it in the ground and then cleared everything away.
Well, here's
What
my
do you guys think about that?
They would have had to clear the other 50 million miles of terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing
So-
the thing is though, Owen, that's a good point. But with how sand isn't necessarily like how
hard.
dirt is, it's not stuck into the ground, it can blow around. So do you think over time enough wind happened that it kind of blew it and leveled it out? You know what I mean?
I don't
Do you
know,
think
man.
There's a lot of
possibility.
theories. I'm not sure which one's
There's
right.
a lot of theories on it, and nobody really knows for sure.
No, that's a beautiful thing.
Well, people did know for sure because somebody did it. So
yeah.
somebody knows.
What
Well,
if
yeah.
some guy that said that all this happened just completely lied and we're just living a lie?
No, and remember, guys, history was only written by the winners.
Yep.
That is true. I've never heard that.
Let's
quote
put
before.
that on a shirt. That's a good
Has
one.
nobody ever heard that? You guys never heard that?
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's
History. So half of history is bullshit.
beautiful.
No, I'm not saying like Hitler was like he was doing right shit because he
yeah,
lost.
let's not. I don't think.
Well, I'm not.
anybody
I'm
said
just not. I'm not going that far.
What's this about?
that. Yeah, that's
No.
kind of a bad.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying like he wasn't doing good stuff.
Okay.
We're not pulling a Kanye.
Nope.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm saying like the British.
Yeah.
We beat them.
Well,
It was we were LeBron down 3-1 in the
So
finals.
maybe
We
what
came
you're
back
saying
and
is maybe
beat 'em.
we were the bad guys and the British were the good people.
Well, you go to British, I'm pretty sure they'll say, "Oh yeah, the Americans are jerks."
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
You know what I mean? But they're salty they lost,
yeah, they are.
and that's a bad example because I'm gonna take pride in my own country.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
You
what I
have
mean?
to.
I
You
mean,
have
we
to.
were against the wall, and we quite frankly kicked their ass.
Yep.
Oh, and I wasn't there to see it.
It kind of that's a beautiful way to kind of put this because they were against the wall and they fought back and they beat it. Kind of like you. I think you're against the wall. I think you're gonna beat it.
Yeah, you got me pinned, but I still got a few moves up.
And
my
I think
sleeve.
that's a great way to kind of sum up this episode is that if you're against the wall, keep fighting, keep
Yeah.
fighting. Oh, and I think that's give them your advice. Keep fighting.
You guys got to keep fighting, man. Keep pushing. I mean, I know it's hard. I know people are probably saying stuff about you. Back to that up in Florida, people are saying stuff about you, man. You just got to keep doing you, man.
Yep, keep doing you.
You can't let other people's thoughts on you change what you think about your own self.
Message of the podcast: be yourself, man. Don't let these haters and these other people try to deteriorate you from what you're doing.
Yeah, like the people throwing popcorn and screaming chicken jockey at oh my god, chicken jockey at the top of your lungs. My hat's off to you.
Yep.
I think that's the coolest thing.
People are trying to shut you down, and that is awesome. You're
Yeah.
not taking. I seen a live chicken in the movie theater.
Absolutely.
There's a guy holding him up. I mean, it's awesome.
I mean, I've been alive 17 years, and I think this might be one of the greatest memes we've
Yeah.
had so far.
I
I
think.
feel like it's almost bringing the
Or
world
trends.
together.
Yeah, one of
Trends.
the greatest trends.
I mean, I'll go to a movie theater. I don't even know this kid sitting beside me.
and
And
we
we're
can bond over screaming.
No.
Chicken jockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both on chicken jockey at the top of our lungs.
Yeah.
We move out. Like I just say goodbye. I'm like, I am Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He
they
said the back, and I'll never see this kid again. But I bonded with him.
It really
He'll
brings it
remember.
together. There's some American things that can really
Yeah.
just bring you
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And it makes me believe in our
I think
country.
this is one of those moments in history that it's one of those things that they'll say was the closest that
we ever had a world
humanity
peace.
ever came to being together at world
Like,
peace.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like
people-
no matter what your stances are on anything, you came together to watch the
No,
Minecraft.
no matter if you're Christian, Jewish,
No.
Catholic, you came together and you watched Chicken Jockey
Absolutely.
and
you
screamed
loved
at the
it.
top of your lungs.
And you loved it. And you threw popcorn all over. So the
Yeah.
poor minimum
Yes.
wage workers had to clean it up
Well,
all by
No,
themselves.
yeah.
This isn't about them. You know.
No.
No.
This isn't about.
I'm sorry if you're working at Tinseltown or
If
anything,
you
but
think about it, you're helping solve world peace.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
for
when
sure.
you're cleaning up crusty ass popcorn in a dead chicken's head from the movie theater floor, you're doing the world a favor.
Dude, like it's the bigger picture.
No, people don't
It's
see
the
it.
bigger picture.
What about the workers? What about dude?
What about us? What about the kids?
civilians?
yeah.
And the workers are acting like when they don't get off their shift, they're not going with their buddies to go watch Chicken Jockey and ruin
At
somebody
another
else's
theater
night.
and ruin somebody else.
Yeah.
like make somebody else clean it.
Yeah, they're like,
Like, dude.
you don't think they're out for blood?
No, 100%. I think that's the thing that's happening is that these movie workers, they got mad at one theater that did it, and so then they just got a group of kids and went to another theater to make those kids mad, and that just kept going on.
Yeah.
So the people doing this are movie employees.
The best thing, the nice thing about when we get some more followers is we're gonna be able to put like those videos so you guys can see what. I mean, most of you guys probably do.
Yeah, everybody.
But
knows
like
it's
when you
Chicken
see
Jockey.
like they're all like sitting there like hold,
Yeah.
and then 47, 17 to 21-year-old grown men yell Chicken Jockey.
in unison.
It makes you feel something in
It
your
almost makes me feel American again.
Yeah.
No,
it-
it's
it-
almost
it
like
does.
screaming like F the British.
Yeah.
or like
if you will.
USA. Let
Yeah.
me can.
Like
Yeah.
everyone's like pumping their arm in the air. Like this is like what we stand
It's like
for.
it's equivalent to the news that we got when we won World War II. Almost.
Yeah.
I would
Everyone
say
was
it's
just
up
like,
there.
That's not ridiculous.
No, it's awesome, man.
I'm
That's
just
awesome.
glad that something so simple could bring people together.
Yeah.
You know, it just goes to show that the world doesn't have to be full of evil.
And I think that's what our podcast is intending to do here. You know,
We're trying to bring everybody together, man.
Yeah. So
You know, maybe this will be one step towards world peace. You know,
the Lunchroom Podcast making a
Lunchroom
difference.
Podcast, baby.
We're trying.
Yep.
We're out here trying, and
We are.
I think we might get a little bit of backlash on this video.
No, but this was a successful video.
I
for
think
sure.
it was a successful video, but I want to make it clear again.
No, this is all hypothetical.
People try to misinterpret the episodes
Yes.
and pin
Yeah.
us on something.
We are just three
Young-
brothers
Yeah.
sitting in a basement talking about how we're seeing things.
Talking about how we feel,
Yeah.
Yep.
There is no intentional.
and there's not
diss.
a lot of that in men nowadays.
No, there is no intentional diss. That we are not here to. We're here to spread love. There
Yeah,
is no
not
hate.
that.
There's
Yeah,
a
anybody.
like men are not talking about their feelings. We got dudes out here too nonchalant to put a damn seatbelt on.
Yeah.
for sure.
Like, dude, why are you buckling the seatbelt behind you? Just put it on.
Yeah,
No.
so they can not hear the car noise. Just
Yeah.
put your life matters, bro. Put that
No.
seatbelt on.
They're too cool to put a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
No, that's not cool.
No,
Put your seatbelt on.
dudes. No, I mean, they're not too cool to scream Chicken Jockey,
Oh, yeah, but they can't put a
but they'll
seatbelt.
go to the theater and like just be a total dick to the cashier.
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
No, just scream
There's
Chicken Jockey in
certain
his
things
face
to do,
Yeah.
and throw a few popcorn curls at him.
And he'll be like, chicken jockey.
Chicken
Right.
Jockey, yeah. Yeah.
Like, he'll know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
I mean, he works there. He's probably heard it for the last 9 hours he was on shift.
oh no,
Okay,
probably-
you know that's the thing. This is awesome to us, but imagine being.
there's probably
poor,
at
maybe.
least been at least 15 or 16 suicides.
Yeah.
Of
I
Cinemark
think men's
workers.
mental health has really decreased for employees working at Cinemark that
Yeah.
have dealt with the Minecraft meme. But
That should definitely be like some type of logistic in that. Like, there has to be some numbers that are explaining what happened since Chicken Jockey. Has
Yeah.
the world gotten better or has the world gotten worse? We need to know.
You know, what I'm gonna say, if we hit 300 followers by what our next video,
yeah, by now
we're gonna
next
buy a
week.
chicken jockey for the table.
I
We'll
think
get a
so,
chicken
too.
jockey
That
for
sounds
the
We're
good.
gonna get a big ass chicken jockey for the table.
Yep,
Yep.
let's do it.
And
It's gonna be beautiful.
we'll take good care of it too.
Okay.
So I think that's fair. You know, we're at 150 now. If
Yeah,
we can double
300.
that,
That's nothing. That's double it.
Yeah, let's do it. Get us there.
you know, all you gotta do is just tell one friend. If everyone on there tells one friend,
That's
there we
300.
go.
There we go.
It's not that hard.
And if they tell 2 friends, well, now we're doing even better.
I don't know how many that is.
Spread the lunch.
I mean, if everybody tells 7 friends and they tell 7 friends, I think we'd probably be at 1 million followers.
I think so too.
I think
So
that's how that works.
tell your 7
Because
friends.
then those 7 friends will tell 7 more friends.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
we'd be at 1 mil.
you know,
Probably the whole United States, really, if you think about it.
we
Yep.
just need in the reality, like, we just need one TikTok clip to show people who we are. That's it.
Yeah.
If we can get that, we're gonna take good care of you guys. We're gonna get the best quality we can, the best audio, the best setup.
Mhm.
Like we're really gonna put our time into it.
I mean, Rowan's went viral. It can't be that hard.
Yeah, I got a few hundred likes. Oh, I went viral for something very stupid. I think what we're doing is productive.
No, people think, oh, this is stupid. You
Yeah.
guys talk about bullshit.
Too.
We're trying to help people.
Yeah, for sure. I will take getting fewer likes over what I got viral, quote unquote viral for. That was stupid. What we're doing is productive
Yeah.
and can make a difference.
I think a big part of it too is, I feel like trying to go viral is the wrong way to think
No,
about
you
it.
No,
just
we're
gotta
doing it the
throw
right way.
stuff at
Yeah.
the wall,
Yeah,
Right.
and then one time it'll
yeah,
stick.
it's all luck.
Yeah.
It's all luck.
Like I feel like it's like whenever you're watching something update and like you look away, so that way it goes faster.
Yeah.
Because like you can if you
Well, when I
stare
post
at
the
it.
video on my personal account, I always look away just to see.
Yeah.
Maybe if I don't look, the likes will go bad.
Oh,
I
like,
won't touch it for
Don't
weeks.
like the video, like
Yeah. Oh God,
Don't
I
like it.
definitely got no likes right now.
Yeah.
I look at my phone.
you're refreshing the page every second to see
Yeah.
how many likes you get a second. But
Mhm. But yeah, I think this has been a very productive episode.
I think it's been a
Yeah.
great episode.
it's been a good week, man. This week brought a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
Yep. This has been
So,
great.
thank you guys for tuning in, man.
Yep.
It's been really fun. I'm glad we got to hear about Owen's, almost tragic coming of this week.
Yeah, but
It was a short little
But look,
pod,
look.
only an hour about.
he's here. He's in the flesh. I mean, justice for Owen.
Justice for
Yeah.
Owen / Nate Linkus.
Hey, stop Greg Oden hate.
Again, this is all hypothetical. This has
Stop the hate on Greg
Let's
Oden.
bring Greg Owen back.
Yep, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Greg Oden, you on the pod?
Hit
We
us
got a
up.
big old seat for your 7-foot ass right here.
Feel free to send in a call. The number's in the bio. We'll definitely put it in the video, or at least try. Don't forget the comments. Whoever gets top comment, man, we're gonna feature it. We'll talk about it. We'll react to it. We'll do whatever you want us
We'll
to do.
do it.
Yep,
We'll do it.
let's do it.
Thank you guys for tuning in again, and just remember what happens in the lunchroom.
Stays in
Stays
the
in the
lunchroom.
lunchroom.